And in today's business matters, a reverse course for gold, it looks like. The precious metal rebounded and edged higher today, and this came after falling nearly 2%. Late this afternoon, spot gold was up about 0.5%. It was hovering around $3,300 an ounce. U.S. gold futures settled around 1.5% higher. The bullion is a traditional hedge against political and financial stability. It rose to an all-time high last week. So double the number of supplemental security income checks scheduled for next month. It's not because recipients are getting extra money. It's actually a quirk in the Social Security Administration's calendar. For those who receive SSI checks, they'll get their May check at the beginning of the month and their June check at the end of May as well. So this happened in February as well and will happen again in August and in October. Linus Rare Earths says the U.S.-China trade war could be the best chance to reset the rare earths market. Its chief executive is telling customers that paying a premium for non-Chinese supply could be seen as insurance. At the same time, she is not betting on a $258 million Texas project that's meant to revitalize America's domestic supply. The company is talking to the U.S. government about additional costs to build the rare earth processing facility. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said many top U.S. trading partners have made very good proposals to avert U.S. tariffs. He added one of the first deals to be signed might actually be with India. Bessent made the remarks during an interview with CNBC this morning. He said the U.S. also held very substantial negotiations with Japan and that discussions with other Asian trading partners were going well. Bessent commented on China's recent moves to exempt certain U.S. goods from retaliatory tariffs. He said it shows Beijing wants to de-escalate trade tensions with the United States.
I believe that it's up to China to de-escalate because they sell 5 times more to us than we sell to them. And so these 125, 145% tariffs are unsustainable.
Now, Bessent also commented on the strengthening euro. He warned that European countries may move to cut rates to counter its rise. Bessent says Europeans don't want a strong euro, while the U.S. remains committed to a strong dollar policy. Airline supplier Spirit AeroSystems sliced up in a buyout. Boeing and Airbus have settled on what assets will be split and who will get what. Here's more.
A transatlantic carve-up has been finalized between Boeing and Airbus over the fate of Spirit AeroSystems, one of the world's largest manufacturers of major plane components. 2 decades ago, Boeing spun off Spirit Aero, and just last year, the U.S. plane maker agreed to buy Spirit Aero back for nearly $5 billion in stock, while Airbus agreed to take over plants in North Carolina and Belfast, Ireland, in exchange for credit lines. In response to the deal, unions are voicing their fears that thousands of jobs will be lost in Northern Ireland and Scotland. One area of concern is the former Short Brothers site, the world's oldest plane makers. Unions and politicians are calling on the UK government to prevent a breakup of the site and the loss of workers. The decision to dismantle Spirit Aero comes as Boeing boosts production of its 737 MAX, the jet that faced a series of crises that weighed on production. Spirit Aero produces the fuselage for the MAX and had raised doubts last year about its ability to continue. The deal with Airbus is expected to close at the end of this month, and the deal with Boeing in the third quarter.
The CEO of Saudi Arabian startup airline Riyadh Air said his company is willing to purchase Boeing jets originally meant for China. The CEO has said travel demand to and from Riyadh, Saudi Arabia's capital, is strong, and his company is looking to expand capacity before it officially starts flights in the last part of 2025. The company has placed orders for jets from both Airbus and Boeing. Boeing has also said demand for its aircraft is still strong. That's despite China recently sending 3 Boeing jets it ordered back to the United States. And Boeing as well is looking to reassign dozens of jets ordered by China but rejected due to China's ongoing trade dispute with the United States. And shipping company DHL blamed the halt it imposed on April 21st on new U.S. customs rules. They require formal entry processing on all shipments worth over $800. The previous minimum was $2,500 until a change on April 5th. DHL said today it had constructive dialogue with U.S. Customs and Border Protection, as well as the Department of Homeland Security and Department of Commerce. The company said it is now able to resume shipments. Another tech company is backing President Trump's push for local manufacturing. IBM has pledged to invest $150 billion in the U.S. over the next 5 years. The company says the investment includes more than $30 billion in research and development. This will be to advance and continue IBM's manufacturing of mainframe and quantum computers in the U.S. IBM operates one of the world's largest fleet of quantum computing systems. IBM's CEO said this will ensure the company remains at the epicenter of global advanced computing and AI capabilities. The investment announcement follows similar ones made by rival NVIDIA and Apple. Now, home sales have fallen, and a survey finds renting is cheaper than paying a mortgage. We take a look at why this is and how long it's likely to persist.
The cost of living continues to rise across the country. In March, the median existing home sale price climbed to over $400,000. That's nearly 3% higher than a year ago, according to the National Association of Realtors. And home sales have dipped as a result, with many buyers wondering if they can even afford a home.
Affordability continues to be the biggest barrier for Americans trying to achieve home ownership.
Alex Gailey is an analyst at the consumer finance company Bankrate. They recently found on average, renting a home is cheaper than paying a mortgage in all 50 of the largest U.S. metro areas.
We know home prices have skyrocketed in the last few years because we saw that big pandemic boom. And we also know mortgage rates have risen dramatically.
The median monthly mortgage payment in March was about $2,800, according to Redfin. Mortgages typically include property taxes and home insurance costs. Whereas the median rent was about $1,600, but rentals often tend to be smaller.
There's a lot of upfront costs that you don't have to deal with renting that can be financially beneficial for you, even if you are missing out on building equity through a home.
There is some good news. The further you live from a major city, the price gap between buying and renting a home narrows. And many experts predict home sale prices will come down in the next few years as more inventory comes onto the market. For Consumer Watch, I'm Jen Sullivan.
So Domino's Pizza posted a surprise decline in its first quarter same-store sales in the U.S. Inflation and economic uncertainty soured consumer appetite. And Domino's is actually the world's largest pizza chain, but U.S. restaurant traffic slowed in February and in March. According to LSEG data, same-store sales fell 0.5% compared with predicted 0.5% rise. And the company says its U.S. delivery business dipped because lower-income consumers spent less. And the company is, however, optimistic about the second half of the year. It sees its partnership with DoorDash that kicks off in May will give it a boost, along with its newly launched Parmesan stuffed crust pizza. It also acknowledged that the current economy could put its growth targets out of reach. Now, the rumblings of a potential buyout for Toyota Industries sent shares surging. Toyota Industries was spun off from Toyota Motor in the 1930s. It produces forklifts, cars, auto parts, and textile machinery. Over the weekend, the company said it received proposals about going private through a special purpose company. In response, shares on the Japanese stock market surged. Now, based on Reuters calculations, Friday to Monday saw a 23% jump. LSEG data shows that would be the stock's biggest one-day climb in at least 4 decades. While there were rumors that Toyota chairman Akio Toyoda and his founding family proposed an acquisition, Toyota Industries denied receiving that offer. An alliance of major automakers wants Congress to stop California's plan to ban gas-only cars by 2035. The House of Representatives will vote later this week to possibly repeal a Biden-era rule that allows California's plan. The alliance said in a letter that car companies could soon be forced to substantially reduce the number of overall vehicles for sale to inflate their proportion of vehicles that are electric and its sales. It also said that the restrictions would increase car prices and reduce vehicle choices. The plan says 80% of vehicles must be electric and the remaining can be only hybrid. The California rules have been adopted by 11 other states, accounting for about 40% of the U.S. auto market. Tesla may have more than hungry protesters, or rather angry protesters, to worry about. In New York, Democrats are hoping to pass a statewide bill that would restrict Tesla from doing direct-to-consumer sales. They say it's because Tesla has a monopoly on direct sales. NTD's Sean Marshall has more.
Tesla dealerships sell vehicles through their direct-to-consumer sales platform. Now, state legislators in New York are pushing a statewide bill to remove Tesla's exemption that lets the company sell vehicles directly to consumers at several select locations. At least one Democratic lawmaker is citing Tesla CEO Elon Musk's backing of the Trump administration and saying that Tesla's exemption for direct sales should be given to other electric vehicle makers.
Yeah, that's completely going against the whole free market, and you got some Democrats right now trying to take retaliatory measures just because they don't agree with Elon Musk's politics and I think what he's doing with Doge.
State Senator Patricia Fahey, who was once a Tesla supporter and a supporter of the company's efforts to sell in New York, is now fighting to remove Tesla's direct sales waiver. One reason, Fahey says, is that Tesla has a monopoly on direct sales.
So if I understand what's going on with Tesla, they're citing an ancient, a very old law where before, once a car dealership got the car from the car maker, that car dealership could open, a direct-to-sell consumer, right? Because that would be direct competition. However, we're way past that now. There's multiple dealerships selling electric vehicles, direct-to-consumer, Tesla, Polestar, Rivian.
Police barricades remain outside the Manhattan Tesla dealership, always ready for the possibility of protesters outside its showrooms. Some say that the Tesla Cybertruck is a flop, but it seems quite popular still as test drives go on throughout the day at their Manhattan showroom. Just a lower sales percentage for Tesla all around. But this location is not allowed to sell vehicles or discuss sales prices. Only a small number of New York locations are allowed to discuss pricing.
My opinion in general of Tesla is that the car is different from your normal car. And I say that part of it, I wouldn't want it to take it away just because it's a more direct way to get to people.
Tesla's Manhattan location can only provide test drives and discuss features. If anyone is interested in discussing pricing, they have to go online or drive 20 minutes to a Brooklyn location. Sean Marshall, NTD News.
And the Washington Commanders are returning to the nation's capital after reaching a deal with the District of Columbia. They'll get a new stadium built on the site where the National Football League team enjoyed its greatest successes. The Commanders have played home games in Landover, Maryland since 1997, and the new stadium will cost $2.7 billion. The decision marked a return to the site of the club's former RFK Stadium, where Washington played from 1961 to 1996. That's when the team won 3 Super Bowl championships and enjoyed the most successful era in the franchise's history. The stadium will be able to host events year-round and will seat about 65,000 people. It's expected to open in 2030. Okay, now let's talk about markets real quick. S&P 500 closed basically flat today on Monday, weighing down by Nvidia and Amazon as investors awaited key earnings reports, and as well as weighed down by economic data. Despite brief gains, concerns over U.S.-China trade tensions and Trump's new tariffs kept markets cautious. Major companies like Apple, Meta, Microsoft, and Amazon are set to report earnings this week. making it a pivotal moment for investors. Boeing shares rose after an analyst upgrade, helping the Dow end just a bit higher. While first quarter earnings growth looks strong, many companies warn of uncertainty ahead. And that's it today on Business Matters.